This week's Nerd of the Week could be the Nerd of the Week for two separate reasons on their own, but combined together makes him a super nerd. And that goes to Kayne Horsham. Kayne worked on the Lord of the Rings trilogy and also The Hobbit, and he was the creature, armor, and weapons art director with the very tough task of finding a way to get chainmail, not just on the main characters, but on the hundreds of background extras and supporting actors who needed to look accurate. And chainmail, while being something that is real and has been around for thousands of years, actually is not very easy to produce because you would have to make small steel rings with a small gap in them and find a way to close them later to form that, of course, iconic metal mesh-like substance. And it was very expensive historically, and there needed to be a way to make them look good and for them to work and for them to be produced enough in time in order for the movies. And he did find a way to mass produce these with a polycarbonate chainmail material. And instead of finding a way to connect them to each other, he decided to, what if we could create them already connected in an injection molding process. So they did that, they covered it in silver, they covered that in orc blood, and then they were able to make many pieces of these. And it could just stop there, but it doesn't, because it turns out the chainmail, or as Viggo Mortensen himself called it, Chainmail, because his name is Kayne Horsham, it's still being used to this day. In fact, it won Best Architectural Product in the NYC Cross Designer Awards, and was recently, a huge display of it was in Times Square in New York City as well. So this is a material that, while excellent for costumes in fantasy or period pieces, could also be used as an architectural product that helps in a multitude of ways. I don't know where to start. One is that it is able to reduce the solar energy entering a building by what he says 80%. He referred to a parking lot in Southern California with a chainmail facade that reduced the temperature by nearly 60 degrees Fahrenheit, which is quite a lot. It's also so strong that a single piece could be up to 16 stories high and not need any kind of structural support that you would definitely need with metal. Also, being that it moves with the environment, it's also ideal in areas of seismic activity. Southern California, this is our material. So the material itself in the architectural process is used with the same material used in astronaut helmets and bulletproof glass, not the same as what you may have seen in those movies. And it's really, he found a new way to use it, and it's also being used in art installations and also being commissioned to be used in many places across New York and in different buildings. And to transfer a fantasy costume into an architectural material that saves on cooling costs, is flexible and is strong, that's a pretty good pivot, and that's why Kayne Horsham is the Nerd of the Week. Do you know of anyone who deserves to be the Nerd of the Week? Let us know below in the comments, but more directly, tweet us or let us know on our Facebook page, and maybe you'll see them next week.